All right, good morning, everybody. It's the 15th of Feb, 2023. Making this, I think, day 46. Hell yeah. I need an intro, I think. I need to do something different. Instead of saying, good morning, everybody, because people might not listen to this in the morning. Who knows? But yeah, it is February 15th. And it's been a slog. It's been a hard road to get here. I've had to make a lot of sacrifices in my life, or a lot of adjustments. But I think with that, there are a lot of sacrifices that have had to happen. Give me 2 seconds. Coffee ASMR. Am I right? No, look, I've made a lot of adjustments to my life this year. And the way that I think now is different, and the way that I react now is different. I don't have enough energy to argue. I don't have enough energy to do shit. And so I much more go with the flow. But 46 days, 45 days, 46 days sobriety. And it's interesting to think about who I was last year, and who I am now, and who I want to be. I think that's the big part. Is who do I want to be? It's interesting, isn't it? The amount that you can do to change your life, and how quickly that can happen. I think about it. I used to say it when it came to like big decisions or whatever. I mean, I've said it before on here. You're only ever one conversation away from changing your life completely, right? And that sounds ridiculous, but think about it. If I was sitting here and I was saying, I want to start a business, and I was talking to someone who had a lot of money who could help me start a business, you know what I mean? My life's changed. If they agree and they want to fund it. Or let's say you're sitting there, you're talking to someone that you like. You say, I think you're really cool and I want to date you, and then all of a sudden you're dating, your life's changed. So we live our lives with moments that between these moments could change our life. Where was I going with that? There's a thought process I had, a line of thought that I was on, but I've lost it. Because I started thinking about how a moment is a minute 30. A moment is classified as 90 seconds. And I think that sometimes when you need to take a moment, a minute 30 is not long enough, But if you can just ground yourself and breathe, you're all good. But yeah, life is full of these moments where you are someone before that moment happens. And then after that moment, you are someone else, right? They shift your perspective and you become a different person, or the same person, but with knowledge, with just a new perspective and a new outlook. And the more frequently that happens, I guess, the better it is for you long term. It might suck short term. I think, remembering back to one of the podcasts I've done, you got to think about the percentage of your life that every day takes up, or every year takes up. The older you get, the less year you have, because the more years you've had, and you get the same 365 days as everyone else, right? But it's a different impact, because a 20-year-old has had less life, which means they have more year. Does that make sense? I don't know. They can do the impact that they have on some of the decisions they can make and the things that they can do. As well as that, I mean, there's responsibilities as well. The older I get, the more responsible I have to be. The more I have to, make sure I'm putting a good amount of money away, make sure I'm looking after my family, make sure I'm I'm thinking the next couple of years of starting a family, having kids. And so there's this there's this like other side of that. There's this other side of life that that takes over as you get older. And that was one of the reasons I started this year doing all the things I was doing, all the things I am doing, I should say, because I wanted to have kids in the next couple of years, and I don't want to be this, fat stoner, lazy slob. I don't want to be. I want to be responsible. I want to be able to look after them and be a good role model, and I want to be able to be a good role model for my friends too. I want to. Who I was and who I was being and what I was saying weren't really lining up, and I've always been told that I have like this potential, like a really high potential, whatever the fuck that means. My parents, my teachers through high school, they always said I could teach. I could not teach. I could do anything I wanted if I set my mind to it. I'm a smart guy, but I'm committed, and I can pick things up, and I think that working towards my full potential, being able to get out and exercise and stuff like that, I think that mixed with my ability to empower other people, which is why I got into leadership. It's why I started doing management and stuff, is because I wanted to be the boss that I never had. I wanted to be, that empathic, compassionate, caring boss that actually gave a shit. And it's hard to do, but it takes a lot out of you, but it's worth it. The outcome's worth it. But being told growing up that I had a lot of potential, I feel like that hinders you more than anything. If you're told you got nothing going on, I feel like you want to push to prove that there's something you can do. But being told that you got a lot of potential, it's like, oh, I don't have anything to prove. Other people see that I'm great. You know what I mean? I don't know if that can make sense. I don't know if that's relatable to anyone, but I never really tried. I haven't tried hard at anything. I haven't given anything like a really solid go. I haven't lost and then continued. I've only ever lost and then quit. So that's what this is. This is like a win or lose, do it every day. Same with exercising. Eventually the pendulum swings back. Eventually I can't lose when it comes to my exercising, that is. But I think, there's so many other things. Like I always used to tell my staff, consistency is key. You know what I mean? Just giving it a go. If you talk to 1,000 customers, you try and upsell socks, let's say, or totes to 1,000 customers, the statistical likelihood that you sell any more than 200 socks is really, really low. Right? You probably sell 20%, maybe 30% if you're lucky. But over time, but on a spectrum, if you're looking at that, it could end up being that no one says yes for the first 500, and then you're selling, 40% in the last 500 customers. But what you're doing is you're building up that resilience. You're building up a level of resilience. You're building up a skill that you wouldn't get otherwise unless you had those micro rejections. And so that's what this is in a way, right? If I do a podcast every day for 365 days, there's no way that I'd be worse on the 365th one than I was on the first. In fact, I should be 1% better every day is like 365% better or something. I can't remember, but 37 times better. So I should be so much better at talking to myself. I should be more coherent, be able to come up with things a bit more on the fly. In theory, maybe I get stuck in these little thought traps, these little thought loops. Maybe I start to talk shit and absolutely just fucking not have a good time on here and start to, say some unhinged stuff. I think I'm not going to do that, but maybe I will. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it'll happen accidentally. Maybe it'll happen intentionally. I don't want to keep this political. I don't want to talk about anything that's happening in real life right now. If anything, I'd start a different podcast, a different channel to talk on, and maybe invite some other people. But this is just self-help. It's just talking to myself about me and about life and about what it's like to be a 27-year-old in 2023. What it's like to be a human being in the 21st century. And I think the potent thing about it is that it's not special, but it is at the same time, right? Because the experiences and the thoughts that I have are unique to me to some degree, but they're not like, I'm not the only one. I might be the only one that's doing something like this though. I haven't seen anybody else doing a daily audio journal. It's kind of like daily vlogging almost, but I'm not. I'm camera shy, and it doesn't have to be a beginning, middle, and an end. It's probably fucking hella boring to listen to. I don't know. I think if someone's in a headspace where they need to hear the things that I'm saying, this is interesting. And if someone is not ready to have those long form conversations and those really deep thinking thoughts, deep thoughts with themselves, maybe this isn't easy to listen to. Because half of it's like dribble, right? Half of it's like this today, just I talk shit for 12 minutes. And then the other half of it is where I get deep and I talk about some shit. But I think all of it should be somewhat entertaining. And anyway, I'm rambling now. Enjoy the rest of your day.